So ayan po mga kababayan, yung labi po ni dating Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. Ayan. Si Enrile po ay matagal din pong naglingkod dito sa atin pong bayan bilang isang senador.
Hey, mapaon pa kita ha, sa ingaunan nato. Bakit ako kay mama? Baka lang
Ayan, nakikita po natin dito si Senator Pampilo Lacson, Senator Rapi Tulfo, Mark Villar, at si Lito Lapid, maging si JB Ejercito, si Nancy Binay, nandito din mga kabayan. At nandito na din po si Mig Subiri. Ayan po. At si dating Presidente Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Nandito din pala si Senate President Tito Soto. Ayan, nandito din po si Senator Robin Padilla, mga kababayan. Ayan, si Manong Johnny po ay 101 na taon na po, kung di tayo nagkakamali.
Yung necrological service in honor of the late former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile is hereby declared open.
Please rise for the Lord's Prayer to be sung by Los Cantantes de Manila. After the doxology, please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. Our Father, who art in heaven, come thy will be done on earth as it is in daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we temptation, but deliver us from evil. Bayang magiliw, pero sa sinanganan, alam ng puso. Masisingin sa dagat at bundok, sa simuyan, sa langit mabaga, may nilagang nagkaroon niyang kailan, ang may matilinig, lupa ng araw na may mga api, ang namatay ng dahil. The Honorable Richard Gordon will now deliver his eulogy.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to greet our first and foremost the family of Senate President Juan Ponce and Enrile, Katrina, and where's Jack? Here? All right. And of course, all the grandsons and grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. Senate President Soto, distinguished colleagues, it's good to be back here again, although not in this way, but nonetheless, thank you very much, Ms. Arroyo. I didn't recognize you, Mr. President. It is a profound honor to be entrusted by the Enrile family to speak about a man of immense and undeniable historical significance, a giant of Philippine history. With the passing of Juan Ponce Enrile, our nation has lost a statesman of rare endurance and extensive experience, a sharp and disciplined mind, a Harvard-trained lawyer, a builder and breaker of eras, and a figure who left deep marks in the fabric of our national story. For more than 60 years, JPE at the very center of Philippine political life. Through the defining years of martial law, the restoration of democracy, his long service at the Senate, and across generations of reform, upheaval, and renewal. They say that the world always steps aside to let any man pass who knows where he's going. Juan Ponce Enrile, or JP, was such a man. He lifted himself by sheer grit. Through his memoir, we learned that having been born out of wedlock, he grew up enduring social discrimination. Classmates mocked him as a bastard, his own words. He thought, yes, I'm a bastard. By accident. But you are all bastards by choice. He was born into deep poverty. He walked barefoot on the streets of Cagayan to stay in school. He worked as a houseboy for his aunts. At only 17, when the war against the Japanese broke out, he joined the guerrilla resistance. He was captured and imprisoned by the Japanese as the Americans landed in Leyte. After the war, his father finally acknowledged him, and an opportunity for a better education was now available. He excelled academically, graduated cum laude at the Ateneo, became salutatorian of the UP College of Law, and earned his Master's of Laws from Harvard University with specialized training in international law and taxation. Who would have imagined that this boy, born into struggle, exitless poverty, raised without privilege, would grow into one of the most consequential figures in our national life? His rise was not destiny. It was sheer determination. I first met JP, and I never called him that. I called him sir all the time. Until now, I'll be privileged to call him sir. First met him when I was still a law student in UP, grieving the assassination of my father and seeking justice after years of delay. And I wasn't sure of what reception awaited me. I decided to seek the help of the Secretary of Justice. He welcomed me with empathy, respect, and without condescension. He said, "Which fraternity do you belong to?" UP ganyan, ah. He asked. I said, "I'm an Epsilonian," I replied. He said, "I'm a Sigma Rho." He countered. I said, "Well, I belong to the oldest fraternity in Asia." I said, and he answered, "Well, President Marcos is an Epsilonian, and he appointed me as one of his principal advisors." To which I replied, "But it took a brilliant Epsilonian like President Marcos to appoint a brilliant Sigma Rho." There were no promises that day, only his instruction for the NBI to re-examine my father's case. But before I left this office, his words stayed with me. He said, "When you finish law school, come see me and join my office." I was wondering what it was all about, but I never forgot it. I treasured it, in fact. The simple invitation became the foundation of a friendship grounded not in politics, but in humanity and compassion. He stood by me in moments that mattered. When my mother was unjustly arrested during martial law, naglalaruan ng mga politiko sa Zambales, I ran to him. He slammed his desk and said, "She was never on the list," and I stressed that to them. That's pure politics. You know what he did? He made me work for him. He told me to go to Camp Olivas in Pampanga, literally in the lion's den, and confront the very formidable General Tomas Diaz, who was a cousin of Congressman Tony Magsaysay Diaz. I was accompanied, of course, by Senator Angara, my insurance. But nonetheless, we got him out. We got my mother out after a not too pleasant argument. Then and there I knew he ensured that he would never help you unless you help yourself, as he did in life. He helped only willing to fight for what was right. Hindi siya magpapagamit sa'yo. Kailangan ipaglaban mo yung kailangan mong paglaban. We did not always walk the same path. After the killing of my friend and schoolmate, fellow Lieutenant Emilio Javier, I told him frankly, as I told several allies then, including President Marcos, that I could no longer continue to support the administration. But I wasn't moving parties. He respected my honesty. Years later, when he was detained, I was among the first. We haven't had the picture in the front page. That wasn't the point. I was the first to visit him at his cell in Camp Caringal. Friendship, after all, is measured in adversity. And I was proud to do that. In 1980, when I became mayor of Olongapo, he honored me by coming all the way to Olongapo, and he administered the oath of office upon this representation as mayor of Olongapo. I was 35, he was 56. And then showed him Subic Bay, sharing a vision many thought impossible, a deep water harbor transformed into a future free port. He right away understood his potential instantly. Hindi kailangan mag-isip, alam niya na kagad kung anong gagawin niya. We disagreed over the removal of the U.S. bases. After all, Central Luzon was going to be severely affected. And after all, we had just been hit by a cataclysmic eruption of Mount Pinatubo the year before. He took the position he believed in the removal of bases, but in 1991, while the Senate was trying to pass on second reading the Bases Conversion Development Act, I and my people and my wife went to Congress and sought him out. He understood us right away. He understood the severity of our people's plight. Pinatubo had devastated us. Clark Field was looted. Our economy teetered. I went to him and said, our people's rice bowls, nabasag po lahat yung hapagkainan namin, and broken. We're suffering. Sir, I said, do you remember the vision I shared when you administered my office as mayor of Olongapo? And I said, we must make the free port real. Despite the bill being late in the process, he acted swiftly. He spoke with Senator Shahani, Senator Angara, Senate President Joey Salonga, who finally said, we remove the bases. We must now help the people who bore the cost. Tens of thousands of people from Central Luzon came daily, particularly from Olongapo, to plead. JP saw them, and he felt their struggle. He helped. When the BCDA law passed, along with SBMA, with just a handful of crucial provisions, each